What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again. We got ourselves the next unit in Rune showcase for the month. As you guys know, I like to do this once a month when I can make some changes, generally after the post removal. We just had the free removal day last weekend, and unfortunately, 2 months ago, or I guess 30 days ago, the previous free removal, I had to work that day. Couldn't do anything. Literally got nothing done. So made a couple changes prior to the week. Didn't make a video at that time. So since I actually made a few changes, I wanted to go ahead and get them out there so you guys can see where we're sitting at with the runes and whatnot here. So as I stated in the last announcement video with regards to free rune removal, you know, when I was coming into this weekend, I had a purpose as far as what I wanted to do. And with regards to my goals, my progression as of thus far, and you know, my current goals are basically one of the same. I have cleared everything that I can with regards to PvE, and so the focus is on PvP, mainly Guild Wars. Even though I do Arena, and you guys see me do Arena, the bulk of my best runes are going to be going on my Guild Wars units. That's what we practice in the Epic Fail Alpha community, Guild War overall. So we definitely do what we got to do to make our runes that much sharper, units that much sharper. So first and foremost, I hope you all had a free rune. I hope you guys had a good free rune removal day. I can't even talk right now because I know I'm trying to look at the camera because I'm trying to use the camera right now. The baby's sleeping, so I'm trying to get it in. Okay. Let's see. Where do we start? So basically what I'm going to do is just go down the units that I actively use. I took all the other junk out with respect to this water griffin. Units that I actively use, so this shouldn't be like a 17-hour video. Okay, so we'll talk about, basically we're going to talk about the units that I use in all of my, you know, giants, dragons, necro, raid team, and then of course we have some, you know, specifically used TOA units, as well as the bread and butter of the units, the Guild War units. So I'm excited to get it in. All right, let's go with the first unit here. As you guys know, Megan, I've gone back and forth with what I wanted to do with this particular unit. We got ourselves the Swift Will setup. I was using Violent Will for the longest time, but I realized that with regards to G3 guilds and what they bring to the table, a lot of these support base units, these Vermoses, these Prahas, these Chasoons, these Swadams, all of them are rarely over 240 speed. So basically any combination that, regardless if they're bringing, you know, Will or Nemesis to the table, my Charlotte, Megan, Lucia combo is my most used combo with regards to Guild Wars, and my ultimate goal is to continuously have 240, 245 speed on this particular unit. So we're right there, about 237. You know, could I make some improvements? Yes. This rune here, it doesn't upgrade. Okay, it doesn't upgrade, so don't hate me. Don't judge me. I've tried this many times, and I'm hoping y'all can give me the luck, because I'm telling you, at least 900,000 put into this rune. It's a scam. I don't know what Comptos is doing, but it's a scam. Okay, so let's not even waste that time. I'm broke. But yeah, basically, obviously, Will, any kind of composition that is bringing Leos out there, I got to counter it. Obviously, it plays a viable role in PvP when it comes to Arena. So yeah, you really don't want to go anywhere without a Will on Megan. It's pretty darn crucial, especially if you do use it for both, you know, Arena and Guild Wars. Next one up, we got Rigel, the Water Lich. You guys know what I do. Violent Revenge, attack, crit damage, attack. He is my last one to go in my Necro team. My Necro team is comprised of Lucien, Regal, we got Roke, we got Arjun, the Wind Vampire, and then we got Colleen. So that's the first of that one there with regards to that comp. Love the unit. I have the attack speed tower, sorry, the attack tower maxed. And I think I'm like level 6 of the water. So with this particular unit, with a Lucien leader skill, and and then an attack buff, he hits about 14k per tick on the Necro boss, Necro B10. If you guys are not familiar with the unit showcase, Regal, definitely want to check that video out so you can see his true potential. Should be in my playlist. I got a unit showcase playlist in the main page, so go ahead and check that out. Shandra, so this one's kind of a unique change. Violent Revenge, but you can see that the runes, the stats are just a little bit different here. His speed went up, his hit points I think went down a little bit, maybe about 3k, but I wanted to get a little bit more speed without losing any critical rate, and this was basically the best I can do, you know, for that nature. The goal was to hopefully, you know, get like a speed hit point kind of a setup with high crit rate, but any speed hit point setup that I had was sitting at around a sub 50 crit rate, and I don't even, you guys know how I roll. I don't even like 64 critical rate, but it is something I'm just gonna have to deal with right now, because since I pulled Kumar 3 to 4 months ago, I think it was about 3 months ago, you know, everything changed with regards to how I do things in the PvP world. That being said, don't discredit Shandra, guys. You guys see me use it time and time and again. Extremely strong unit in the PvP world, having the stun on the first skill. The hug on the offensive side, super strong. People definitely underrate this, especially when you can bring a team that can basically, you can micromanage or micromanage where their damage goes to. If they have a defense breaker that's going to force to go for a particular unit, you bring your Shandra with it, hug it, and if they don't have any kind of buff removal, you're in it to win it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so definitely underrated unit, really strong. Violent Revenge on this one, HP. I could have gone Bruiser with him, but again, I still wanted a little bit more speed, and since I am using him for the sole purpose of hugging certain units, I wanted his hit point pool to be higher. Okay, and so again, that's pretty much it. Sigmar's, no changes. Violent Blade, attack, crit damage, attack. Just showing the 246. You don't need to see all the runes there. Literally just use it for wind-based secret dungeons. Is that right? No, fail. Water-based secret dungeons? Maybe, yes. Okay, so just a couple of secret dungeons, helping with the AoE clears or whatnot. Don't use it for dragons B10. As you can see, I never skilled it up there. This is, if you guys remember, this was one of the epic fails that I had. The first time YDCB made a video where he said in channel 1912 comments, please do this, whatever. I hated that stuff, but I'm like, whatever the heck, I'll do it one time, and I pulled the Water Phoenix. I did not fuse that one, so just saying. Tyrann, again, speed, critical damage, attack. You guys have seen this guy go from not 0 to hero, but hero to 0, right? He used to be one of my top rune speedy attack despair base units that I was using in the PvP aspect with regards to Guild Wars. Early on in my Guild Wars day, I've slowly stripped away his runes to put it on my despair Lucien or my despair Charlotte, which you guys will see later on, and unfortunately just kind of withered away from him. But that being said, he's really not too bad at stats there, and you know, honestly, even though he can put out some good damage with that first skill, he is a CC unit, you know, first and foremost. So I just want to make sure that I got a good enough, you know, good amount of speed, and you know, have the ability to, you know, critically hit that first skill all day, so I can get that buff and then just keep on doing damage, so on and so forth. But next one up is probably going to be the one that I'm most proud about. As you guys know, I've been talking about a lot. Got Will, hashtag Got Will. With regards to PvP Guild Wars, my Guild Wars defense does exceptionally well, but what slows me down big time and basically allows my defense to get wrecked quite a bit versus the top 3 guilds on our global server is the lack of will on my team. So you're going to see a lot of different changes for the better. First and foremost, we got ourselves Orion. Orion is rocking the Violent Will. We're running speed, hit point, and defense. Okay, so 231 speed, about 1260 defense. This is a little bit down from what I had. I had about 1400 defense on him with about 24,500 hit points. So I feel like the downside of the speed or whatnot is going to hurt a little bit. I'm going to have to get used to it. But at least, you know, for the fact that I do have Will and he is on Violent, he can still go relatively crazy. The good thing is that with regards to these 2 runes, it allow me to improve my resistance to upwards of almost 60%. And when we're talking about a unit that can go ham and a composition that is trying to do everything in its power to get rid of it, having a, you know, high resistant unit with a lot of accuracy on this particular unit is really going to help the quote-unquote RNG factor to go in my favor. So I'm a big fan of this setup. I mean, obviously, if I can improve it, you know, I would. But just to kind of give a heads up, like, you know, we moved a couple runes around here, but like this rune here in particular, this was on my Galleon. And you're gonna hear me talk about Galleon here in a little bit. But basically, like I said before, with regards to my Guild Wars, I really wanted to focus my best runes on it, and so some units had to lose a couple runes in order to improve my top runes. And while Galleon, it might seem crazy to strip Galleon, here you're gonna see the changes in Galleon. It's not gonna be too much of a difference. So yeah, Violent Will, we got ourselves Orion, so really sitting good here. I'm super excited for. Theomars literally got changed as of like 10 minutes ago. He was sitting same attack, same speed, actually 177 speed with 76 critical rate, 176 critical damage. I just picked up this blade rune, maxed it out, re-rolled the critical rate, and so I took off another rune on my Lucien, my second Lucien, not my main Lucien for Guild Wars, my second Lucien, so that I can give him 7 more critical rate, and I dropped my critical damage by 12. So let me go ahead and put it out there why this is the case. Right now, 76 critical rate, right, with the elemental advantage on this passive, is going to give me basically, 91%. 91% is good, but if you've seen, me, I'm a big advocate of basically doing what I can to get every unit, at that 100 critical rate if at all possible. And obviously it's not happening. Extremely rare. I had one unit, Kumar, that was at 97 critical rate. Everybody else has been anywhere from 70, 68 to like 80. And so with this particular unit, one of my compositions, one of my older Guild War defenses was Theomars Orion Trassoon, a very strong defense. If anybody's seen it out there, can easily, or not easily, but can definitely throw off somebody that is not bringing the speed. And obviously Theomars has the ability to go ham, so it can be extremely strong. And so with regards to this particular setup, I had 76 critical rate, which forced me to put Theomars at the lead. Okay, so when you're running Guild Wars defense, you're running a unit that's going to go ham. You're really dependent on him critting every time. So if he's gonna violent proc, I have the opportunity on the defense broken unit. If he's gonna violent proc, I have the opportunity to one shot anybody, right? But here's the deal: I have to crit on both of those attacks to get that done. If I miss one crit, it's game over. And that's the difference between winning or losing when it comes to Guild Wars. Any unit can go ham, like a Theomars, like a Zyros, or whatever. But if you don't crit, when you spec a unit for critting, I mean, it's out the window. Everything's out the window. So I intentionally dropped 12 critical damage for the extra critical rate. I actually did the calculations wrong. That's my epic fail, the video. I calculated at 86% critical rate, which is why I made the change. Because since he has the elemental advantage, 85 or more would have given him 100% critical rate. Unfortunately, it was 83. I left the runes on just because 98% all day is still better than the 91% all day. I'll take 98% any day of the week. Little drop in the critical damage, but I'm okay with that. I'm continuously improving my Guild Wars tower, so I will make up for that critical damage for now. And then of course as the runes come along, I'll go ahead and improve that. But yep, Violent Blade, attack or damage attack, just getting the speed sub stats where I can. Crappy rune here, but again, I just don't have anything better on that slot. It's a shame. So Galleon, all right, Galleon, we got ourselves here violent focus, speed, attack, and attack. Okay, so as you see right here, this was a rune that got taken away, or this was the rune that got replaced on Galleon from Orion's rune, slot 5 there. I took it away because I wanted, again, the accuracy and resistance for Orion. This one didn't have accuracy. I did have the accuracy roll. I got a roll on it, and it gave me the accuracy that I want. I wanted to go ahead and be maxed out at 100%. And I didn't lose any speed. The speed is pretty darn crucial because when I use it in particular combinations for my Dragons B10 team, I need my Galleon to be super fast, and so I have every unit speed tuned, timed out, and I have them where I want. That's where I want them in that 205 to 210 range. In addition, having him, if I play around with the composition with regards to Charlotte, even though I generally use Charlotte, Mega, and Lucien, I have him sync so that he goes before my Charlotte when I use my Charlotte. So I do find teams that run super slow, tanky defenses. So with a Charlotte, with a Charlotte, Galleon, like a Pungbeck combination, that can work. But for right now, it's still Charlotte, Mega, Lucien for the majority of the stuff. Stella's the next one up. I'm sure I've made one too many videos. I know Caranther's made tons of videos out there talking about how this unit can drastically improve the speed of your dragons giants, and raid teams. You guys have seen me go crazy with it in the PvP world. I find that the damage it can do is still really strong and still can be utilized in an aggressive format. Okay, so if you're like me that likes to get aggressive, likes to get that first turn and snipe the unit that is generally the threat on the opponent, you can find value in this unit, especially for the G1, G2 guilds out there that are finding people on their people that they're going to attacking against their guild war teams. They generally are running some kind of one threat team or something of the sort. Some kind of like Theomars, Chloe, Chasun, or something like that. Obviously if it's a Chloe, you're probably not going to outspeed it unless you're bringing like a Bernard combination. But the fact of the matter is that with those teams that are bringing one threat and one threat only, depending on the composition you bring, you can essentially assassinate that threat and just kind of clean up the mess afterwards. And Stella, I do that with her sometimes. Some people bring these YOLO comps with some kind of Galleon, Orion, whatever combination, and so for me, whatever DPS they bring to go with that combination, generally like a Galleon, Bernard, Stella for me can get the job done, assuming that they have the right I have the right elemental neutrality or advantage or whatnot. Obviously I'm not going to take Stella into a win unit, that's what Theo's for, but it is an option if I do lose Theo randomly. I've talked to you guys before. I have a video way back when talking about the Water Samurai being kind of like a poor man's Theo. The third skill is based on the speed, so you can take full advantage like a Galleon Bernard combo with regards to that. He does a sectional damage. Be sure to check that video out if you haven't seen that unit showcase for Kaz. It's old, but it's still good. It's still good. Okay. Targ got he went from hero to 0, moved some runes around from him, so his critical rate is a little bit down, but I left him in this rune box just so you guys know that I do play around with him. I plan on doing some YOLO comps with him in Guild War offense, just because I just find him fun. I love his kit. Has the ability to bring 2 units, and then Horus has his attack based on speed here. I did play around with him a little bit. The reason why I have a 6-star Tark is because I obviously played around with him in Dragons V10. I found that my current composition, which is comprised of Galleon, Spectra, Stella, Theo, and Vertihill, was yielding safer runs. Both of them yielded about 1.5 minutes to 1:15 runs on average, but the team with Spectra in it versus the Tark was a little bit faster, and so I obviously chose Tark to go in for Stella or going for Spectra because I wanted to have the most opportunities to have units that could provide defense breaks, so I can take it down quick. Obviously, we're not concerned about the tower if we're going crazy yellow on that particular comp. So that being said, check out some of these videos. I know a lot of people got these double Tark videos or whatnot. If you haven't been unfortunate enough to get certain units, double Tark, triple Tark, everyone's getting crazy with it. It's amazing, right? Next one up, we got ourselves Rogue. We got ourselves Violent Revenge. Attack, if I remember correctly, using the attack runes that are bringing me a lot of either attack percentage or hit point percentage on the substats. Trying to do what I can here. These are just random runes. Obviously, I'm not putting on my best runes on this. This is just to fill the void as far as what I need for hit points or whatnot. I did look into going, since I couldn't improve his critical damage and keep his critical rate reasonably decent. I took a look at some of my critical rate runes, but they weren't too good with what I had left, and I needed him to have this amount of speed, like within 1 or 2. So that's the reason why he has that. Otherwise, I would have maybe done something like attack, critical rate attack, because I don't run a critical rate unit in my team now. Chilling is no more. My composition is Lucien, Roke, Colleen. I think I already said Arjun, and then of course Regal. So next one up, Hua. This was another one on the list that was definitely up there in the priority. Rift of Worlds level 5. I've had a lot of teams that I play around with, but most notably, I'm using a combination of 2. Out of all these units, I use a combination of 2 of these units on the front line, which is either Delphoy. Delphoy is generally in there because of the cleansing, and then either the Fire Panda, the Dark Diaz. I'm using a Diaz, or sometimes I use Jameer. I've recently using the Fire Panda and the Diaz a little bit more, but all those units I use in the front line, just kind of mixing it up depending on what we need for leader skills. But the back line has always been the same. It's been Hua, Stella, Colleen, Chasun. And so with regards to this particular setup, Stella has the better runes out of the 2, and you guys saw that change in the last video. Hua got a little bit hurt when it comes to her overall stats. So when I was looking around, some of the runes that I had on Leica, and as well as this one, allow me to get her basically right around that 19k hit points or whatnot, more or less the same attack and just a tad bit less speed. She was running 166 speed, now she's running 162 speed, but a little bit more critical rate, a little bit more critical damage, and so overall it was a big improvement, not just for the hit point stats but the accuracy stats. You guys know that she's a crucial unit, not just for PvP but PvE when it comes to attack bar manipulation, and so having the ability to have a nice accuracy in addition to having high hit points, good attack, and good speed, I'm a big fan of this kind of setup here, and so I'm glad to take advantage of these focus subsets that really give me the stats that I want, while helping out with the overall damage that I'm trying to get for this particular unit. So Clara is I should have taken this out here, you guys. Obviously, there's no reason to show her runes, but she is a world boss unit. But you guys saw in the last HOH, I did have her. I had Pungbex runes on her, and I used her in my yellow comp for clearing HOH because I needed a fire-based AOE damage, and so I focused, max damage on her while having the just a rage set on her. Took advantage of her stuns on the third skill, and just high damage overall. Having her get that first turn, use her third skill when she was at max health, allowed me to have 100% critical rate, so that was pretty nice. Still a good unit. I love her. I mean, her attack base is low, her hit points is high, so I mean it's unfortunate that she just doesn't have that overall kit of stats that you kind of want. But I mean her she's not too bad. She can do some good damage with her second skill. Third skill, meh. But I mean overall, I can't. I mean I'm just doing the best with it, guys. You can see I don't have the skills maxed out or whatever, so I'm not taking full advantage of this, especially for me having the ability to max this second skill out would be nice. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I could have swore this third skill used to be 30% chance to stun an enemy, which each time I could have swore it was 30%, not 20%. Did they nerf that? You guys have to tell me in the comments down below. Spectra, Violent Blade, speed, critical rate, and then we get ourselves the accuracy. So doing everything that I can to get high amount of speed, high amount of critical rate, and high amount of accuracy. I have looked into trying to get him on a critical damage on 4. But for me, I find more value in having him, having the higher critical rate and making sure he crits on his second skill, versus having anywhere from 60 to 70 critical rate and then hitting extremely hard. But again, 60 to 70% critical rate versus 100%. It's extremely reliable, obviously. So I find value in the critical rate aspect. I mean, that's just kind of what it comes down to making sure I get the speed that I want. As you can see, I have some good speed on this particular rune. Obviously I'll look into improving it later on, but it's no big deal. Next one up, we got ourselves Draco, another top unit with regards to what I kind of prioritize. This one didn't get changed at all, but I mean, for those who have been following me these last few weeks, have seen me use Draco a little bit more. Going with the Despair Will. I know some of the top players, the cool thing about this is, even though I showcase my units and runes and top players can see it and then know what I bring to the table when it comes to Guild Wars, none of the top players watch these videos anyway, so it's all good. Draco is one of the units that I'm mixing up in my Guild Wars defense, and so 230 Despair Will. I like this particular setup. Obviously if I had another violent set that I can play with it, I probably would mix it up with that. But with a unit that is bringing 2-turn immunity, I don't want a violent proc out of that, so I've been utilizing his Despair set. I always thought Despair Draco was a little bit better choice than a violent, but like for a unit like Orion, it's without a doubt violent's going to be the better option when you go violent or Despair. Swift or violent just kind of comes down to if you're trying to get turn 1 or not. So okay, so another unit that is gonna look kind of weird, but it'll be fun to play around with. I've been getting some requests to use Leica again. We got Leica back in the mix, but as you can see, his stats have drastically changed. He used to be speed, crit damage, attack. Now he is attack, critical damage, HP. attack, critical damage, HP. So I will be doing a like a unit showcase on him later on down the road. I'm not going to get too much into it right now, but basically this is a unit that I've been preaching since Jakeem came on board. If you guys remember Jakeem from the Educate and Dominate way back when, we talked about units that can fill the role of like a hybrid format. Okay, really strong unit. People are not looking at its kit. People are not looking at the defense that leader skill it brings. People are not looking at the resistance it's bringing, the natural resistance. There's so many things you could do with units like this that people have not played around with, and so I'm going to go ahead and showcase it just like I showcase Rigel, just like I showcase Ardra. So stay tuned for that, guys. I know you guys are going to love those videos. Okay, next one up, Colleen, no changes, Violent Revenge, speed, hit point. Just doing everything that I can to keep her resistance at 59 or better, accuracy as high as possible, and speed as high as possible. I'm always looking for 200 speed, you know, healer support units when it comes to R5. Yes, you can get away with a little bit lower in the 170, 180 range. I prefer 200 plus. It's just been proven to be more successful, more smooth for me. Okay, Vanessa looks like she took a hit, but she really didn't. So we're going to talk about this particular change. Just under 30k hit points. She used to be at 36k, but she wasn't running a defense rune. As you can see right now, I'm running HP defense HP versus triple HP, and the resistance didn't change at all. So basically, I gained like 400 defense, but I lost 6k. HP. And so looking at her defense overall, we're talking about, you know, 1400 plus defense here. Why do I find value in this anymore? We've talked about, you've seen a couple of people talk about the effective HP. You've seen me talk about getting, you know, max value out of the units that provide those flat heals. As you guys know, my arena defense is Vanessa, Orion, what is it? Fail. Veramos and Kumar. Okay, so with Kumar runs a heal, if I can find him. Kumar runs a heal that is 40% of his max HP, which comes to be about anywhere from 20 to 22k, depending on, you know, what leader skills he's running with. And so when we're talking about a unit that's going to heal 20 to 22k regardless, I find more value in setting up my units on my arena defense in that kind of hybrid format with balancing their stats, you know, having them more overall effective HP. The resistance did a change. The speed improved by 10 from 161 to 171 respectively. But like I said, the hit points are down, defense is up. So now when I heal, the heal is going to effectively give me a 66% heal on this unit. I'm going to heal 2/3 of its life pool versus only healing, what would it be, like 40 or 45%? But I mean, overall, you know, because of the fact that she's high resistant, a lot of defense or whatever, she's still going to be a pain to do damage to. So I think it's a change for the better. Again, I'm trying to improve my speed on everybody, and so to me, I just found value in a rune that kind of helped me do that. It was this rune here that bumped me up. You know, when I looked at it, when I saw the rune, it gave me the speed that I want, the defense that I want, and the attack is just a little, you know, icing on the cake to give this guy a little bit of damage. If you have a Vanessa, I encourage you, I know it's a little bit late now, I apologize for going long-winded on this, but if you have a Vanessa, I definitely encourage you to, you know, making them speedy, tanky. You know, you always see people speedy, tanky, but don't be afraid of taking a look at its substats on some of the runes that you have and see if you can actually improve them. See if you can get a little bit of the attack, okay? This is a support-based unit. It should not be doing crazy amount of damage. That being said, it's on a violent set like everybody else, and you guys know that with Vanessa, you have that chain type of effect that will carry over to provide this second skill doing damage based on enemy's max HP. That's not even the best of it. The best is that it provides a defense break. So when we're talking about adding additional ways of providing getting the defense out there, then yes, I do find value in making him tanky as possible, but then seeing what I could do to improve his damage. Because if I'm going to go ham with this unit, getting 2 or 3 procs, I want to make sure I can critically hit, which as you can see, I have decent critical rate. And then I want to bring a little attack behind it. But again, I can't sacrifice that overall tankiness for it. There's no damage that can be done if the unit is dead, you know, first turn. So you have to consider the priority of the unit defensively before looking at it offensively. I hope that helps out. But I've definitely seen some videos from other YouTubers and whatnot fighting my defense, and Vanessa got lucky with 2 or 3 attacks that generated that extra defense break to allow my Kumar and my Veramos to go for that unit and get those extra defense, because all I have is Orion and Vanessa to provide those defense breaks. So any opportunity that I can get to chain attack and get defense breaks, I'm down. Okay. Chloe, Swift Shield, speed, hit point, defense. I obviously want to improve it. Get a wheel set on her and improve her speed, but right now 255-ish, 252 to 255 speed is the best I can do, so I sacrifice 3 speed to get the shield set on there just to help out in case I'm going against Orions and they need another buff to go for. I'd rather them remove the shield than the will, right? So I'm using the shield there. Nothing else to talk about in that unit. Violent Revenge, Vertihill, no changes. Speed, critical rate, attack. I did used to go I went back and forth between HP and attack, but I found that I did not need the HP anymore. I used that for TOA hard. Any composition that I brought with this one, I did okay. I generally brought Brienne, so if I did die for whatever reason, then I can revive him. It's no big deal. But overall, I didn't find real use out of bringing him crazy up in hit points. As you guys know, he's part of the Dragons B10 team, and part of that, even though he's spec'd for critical rate, not optimized for damage, you still want to do everything under the sun to provide as much damage as possible. So speed, critical rate, attack is the way I like to see a lot of the Vertihills go if they're just using it for Dragons B10 mostly. Okay. Kumar, again, this is up there with the Draco. Well, Draco didn't get changed with the Orion, with the Theo. Some of the units out there with the Hua. This is another one of the top priority units. After reviewing the Scat Fetus, Educate, Dominate, seeing if I can mix it up with regards to the Nemesis runes or real runes. I did not have the will, but I did have the Nemesis runes. So I took a hit. My hit points went from 31k plus 31k to plus 28k. My critical rate went down from 97 to 84, but I was able to improve my speed a little bit, and I was able to basically get a Nemesis set on. So this is kind of a trial and error. I don't like, it's so funny because I've already seen it already. I love 97% critical rate. Let me tell you something. 84 from 97 to me is a big difference. I already see it. But I'm kind of a little butthurt about it, I ain't gonna lie. But overall, I like what I'm seeing offensively when I use this particular unit. I can see where the Nemesis can kick in and do well. Unfortunately, his effective HP is not too good. I need to work on the defensive grinds. But again, I had to mix and match a lot of violent runes and a lot of Nemesis runes to keep him at these stats that you see today. Some of the other bruisers that you saw with Shandra, you'll see Jubel a little bit later, whatnot. They have some of my stronger Kumar runes on there because I'm not using Revenge on there anymore. But overall, great unit. Love it. Can't get enough of it. The Fire Panda, I don't know how to pronounce it, so somebody can tell me down below. I just fail miserably. No changes to him. Speed, hit point with defensive substats to get me at about 1400 speed. So, 1400 defense. So overall, I'm doing good with this one. I like the stats. I can bring his defense up. I can drop his hit points down. It really doesn't matter, but I like the high hit point pool. When it comes to when I mess around with them in PvP, because generally I pair him up with a unit that does have a decent type of heal, and so I want to take advantage of that. Jameer, no big changes. Violent Guard, speed, defense, hit point. It is my one and only leader skill that I use for CC based compositions for TOA hard, as well as speed clearing comms for secret dungeons, winds and water based ones respectively, and then of course Rifter Worlds R5 if we need a speed leader. Generally speaking though, I haven't been using it all too much, just because we've been taking advantage of a critical rate lead over the speed, just to improve our overall damage. But overall, not too shabby. Yeah. Lucien, no changes. Violent, broken, attack, crit damage, attack. I need to improve the speed on this one here. I want to improve his speed. Just to make sure there's no gaps in case my Charlotte misses on that attack bar reduction. But overall, I'm happy with the stats. Obviously, I would like to improve it, but I just can't. Lucien took a little bit of a very small hit. Drop 3 critical rate on here. I took the Blade Rune off of him to improve Theomars. Who knows if that'll change. Obviously we're going to look for critical rate enchants that I can put on my Despair Runes so I can improve that critical rate. I don't like running under 70% critical rate. Even though I don't use buffers that buff the critical rate, I just prefer 70% or higher. You know, I know you back in the day we used to talk about, you know, what's effective, if the person should have, you know, if to talk about like Fatal versus Rage having 50% critical rate or 60% critical rate. Now for me, I say go for the 100, but at the worst, you know, 70 to 75. 70, you'll never see my any unit that I'm truly bringing to the table under 70% critical rate, with the exception of now. I just made the change, like I said 10 minutes ago. Delphoy, yeah, she just kind of took a hit for 1 or 2 runes, just because she's, you know, I use her for R5 and R5 only. I do not use her for Guild Wars. I could, but she does not have enough speed to keep in line with my Theomars if I wanted to run her versus the Theomars team. I have a lot of compositions that I run against Theomars, so I'm not too concerned about bringing her in the Guild Wars perspective, but it does okay for the job for R5. I don't have any issues with regards to her. Her hit points are lower, but her defense is high, so it does well. And I'm bringing Jasoon to the table, so Jasoon's heal, her Amuse heal, is healing for about 60%. 60% of Delphoy's life, so it comes in very handy, especially Fallen Blossom as well. Great unit. Jasoon, oh my goodness, guys, it's another real unit. Watch out now, here we come. Violent Will versus Violent Nemesis. I went for the Violent Will because that gave me the stats that I needed. I wanted 200 plus speed on Jasoon. I wanted about 35k health, but I couldn't have it. I can't have it all. I can't have it all. So these are the stats that I'm rolling with. Resistance is good enough for R5. Well, 70% will be good if I'm running with a 30% leader skill, but for the most part, I run with people that are running 41% resistance. I'm liking these stats. Since I dropped my speed on Orion, if and when I use Orion Theomar Jasoon, now I'm running the double will. The ultimate goal is to have triple will on Theo, but right now I don't have the runes to get his stats to where they need to be, so we're still farming Necro night and day. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so Brienne, no changes at all. Despair Revenge. We got ourselves HP, defense, HP. Again, using that combination of HP and defense to have that nice effective HP pool. I use Brienne paired a lot with Jasoon in the TOA era, as well as you know, in different dungeons and whatnot with regards to different healers. So it's nice to have a well-balanced heal pool as well as a defense. I can take advantage of those flat HP heals as well as the percentage HP heals from like a Bella or something of the sort. So overall good. A big fan of the accuracy here, and the resistance looks really sharp. Always want to improve that, but I'm happy where I'm at right now. No changes to Bernard. 283 speed, just doing everything that I can to get the speed up there. You guys know what it is. Always trying to improve the speed of your Bernard while thinking about the units that you bring that follows behind them, right? There's no point in making your Bernard 400 speed if your Megan and Lucien are sitting at 50, right? You have to consider the whole team that you use before, you know, trying to improve it. But again, 283 Bernard gets the job done for me with regards to all of Conqueror 3, most of G1, and a good chunk of G2. G3, I'm going to be forced to run a speed lead. But overall, I'm happy with the stats here. Running the resistance rune here, boom, got him. That's been there forever. But again, it's kind of nice because the people that you know, come at me with something, you know, when I got Bernard, it's cool. You know, I don't have to deal with the. I resist them, you know, if they're trying to reduce my attack bar or whatever. So it's fun if I play around with them in the arena defense for whatever reason, troll setups or whatnot. Charlotte, no changes at all. Despair energy. We got speed, critical damage, and attack. So getting the some crazy attack substats here from these 3 runes. Doing everything that I can to increase her attack. Her critical rate dropped from a couple of months ago when you saw that video because, again, she's basically used primarily for Guild Wars, and we are running her leader skill. So with a 38% leader skill, I got her covered on 100% critical rate. And that allowed me to improve her critical damage a little bit. A lot of speed on this particular unit. Why? Because I have her synced with Megan. I want Megan to go first turn, and then I want her to follow no matter what. I do not want anybody to get cut in between. So that's the speed that I'm running right now. I could drop my speed a little bit, but I'm not going to take any changes with the speed gaps. So right now I'm just playing with the runes that I got because, again, it just so happens that the speed that I wanted allows me to use a subset and get some really good hit points on her, as well as attack and critical damage. So yeah, doing pretty good. Orion, changes from the last time you saw him. Yes, he was speed, crit damage, attack, just like Leica what used to be speed, crit damage, attack. Now he's attack, crit damage, attack. Just before Regel, I'm having him go before Regel. Violent Revenge, so I can proc that first skill and attack 2 times to reduce that shield on the Necro boss. Using it for Necro and the speed R4 runs. Not too much in the R5. R5 can get a little crazy because my lack of speed can hurt on this particular unit, but hopefully I can improve the runes so that everything can improve overall. But because I have the speed set perfectly for Necro, it's going to be a while before I can improve everybody else's runes in Necro to improve Origins runes in Necro. So I'm not too concerned about that again. He is a fun unit to mess around with Guild Wars, but because I'm not going speed on 2, he's not synced up with my other speedy base units, and so I have to kind of hold him back and save him from Necro. Pumbek, no changes. Rage broken. The goal eventually is to get him on a will, get him on a couple of shields, take advantage of his high base HP, and bring him in certain comps, wombo comps that allow me to take the hit on the first turn. But right now, as you guys can tell, I have a lack of runes, so I focus on speed and power to clear the majority of the top 3 guilds, and it does really well for me. Right here we got Darian, just broken, just to use him. I use him for TOA hard. I used to use him for Rift of Worlds, but I use Diaz for now, so it's not a big deal. I like having Darian off of Violent because if I'm using him for TOAH versus Dark stages, then I got myself a unit that's not going to proc out of Chandra's Hug. Arya, speed, hit point, and then I forgot to put her Despair rune back on. Fail. I had a hit point rune on there. There we go. Speed, hit point, and her accuracy is generally around 75% or higher. Overall, good. I did not skill her up because I got Origin skills, skill ups when that HOH came out. So, yeah, I just use her for my CC-based team for TOA when I'm clearing tough stages with dots and stuns and so on and so forth. Beladion, Violent Nemesis, speed, hit point. She's slowly just losing the quality of her runes because I don't use her as much. She is off of my Guild Wars defense. I do not use her in Guild Wars defense anymore, and so I'm looking to improve other particular people's units. I haven't improved hers for a while. Ashir, we'll talk about him in a video with Ashir and Jolton. Ashir, Rage Energy, HP, critical damage, HP. Like I said, I'm going to talk to him a little bit more about it, but I love the overall stats. These kind of stats, guys, are yielding me anywhere from 7,500 to 9,500, upwards of 10,000 on very low defense units, but generally speaking, in that 8,000 to 9,000 range for damage. So overall, I like the stats. I like the speed. It's synced up with my Theomar's Orion comp, as you guys see a lot. So that's a really, really good choice there. Violent Revenge, running triple HP right now. I did run him Violent Energy, HP, crit damage, HP, but for right now, I'm just improving his hit point pool. I played around with critical damage, and I saw a little bit improvement of his damage, but I personally like his having a higher HP pool and doing more or less the same amount of damage. I mean, there's a little bit of improvement when I go critical damage on him, but I prefer the higher HP pool with just a little bit less amount of damage. And now he's not on energy; he is on revenge because I took those runes from Kumar, played around with them. So yeah. Veramos, again, another one of my best runed units here. Speed, hit point with crazy defensive substats. Doing everything I can under the sun to get those defense substats high. Why? Because my Nemesis runes suck, and so I do what I can to keep the speed as high as possible so that I can remove those defense breaks off of Veramos and keep his effective HP really, really strong. Very fun unit. I know a lot of people hate him in the arena when they fight me. They say he's hard to kill. That's why we built him the way we did, baby. All right. Jolton. Okay, we got it running out of battery, so I got to move on here. Jolton. Again, another unit that, oh my gosh, there's will on it. Can he be using this in offense or defense? Probably. Speed, HP. I want that speed at a particular amount. I don't like his hit points right now. I want to get him a little bit higher in the 40k range, but his effective HP is a lot better than what you see most Joltons in. Again, I'm not going to go into detail too much because I'm going to make a separate video on both of the werewolves. But as you can see right now, he is part of the Guild Wars, either offense or defense, because of the fact that I'm using Will a lot now, so playing around with him. Basalt, no changes. Speed, HP. Oh, sorry, triple HP. Sorry, triple HP defense. I thought I had speed on him for whatever reason, but the speed substats were good, apparently. Effective HP is good. I need him to have a little bit of defense to tank the hits when I provoke the bosses in TOA hard. But overall, not too shabby a stats. 73 accuracy. Diaz. Double revenge broken. Defense, HP, defense, HP. I like the higher HP pool so I could take advantage of the second skill, being able to do a little bit of damage. But overall, the effective HP on this unit, the speed and the resistance is exactly where I need it to be. So I'm sitting pretty good. Beretta finally got 6-star. For all those that were giving me a hard time not 6-starring them. Yes, it's 6-star now. Speed, HP, accuracy, about 200 speed there, doing good. Accuracy needs to improve. I need to max out this room, but I'm low on money. But overall, I like the stats now. It's definitely nice to have a little bit more HP when it comes to TOA. But and again, the project that's been sitting there for time and time again, Konamiya, speed, HP, defense, I believe. HP, yeah, defense. I want to 6-star her, but I've been doing the typical thing where I'm waiting for Lisa, so I don't see any reason in 6-starring it to use it for Rift of Worlds, even though I have a team that works good right now. I have no issues with Delphoy, so I see no reason in changing it. That being said, the buffs off of Delphoy, people complain back and forth about, you know, the boss eating the buffs and getting stronger, this and that, whatever. For me, I haven't been too much concerned about it. I found myself able to still use it for my speed R4 runs, which is fine. I don't mind a 5-star Konamiya for R4, but for me, it gets the job done with that. And then R5, I generally try to bring a little bit safer team, and Konamiya is currently out of that team, so that's pretty much it. So again, guys, that is pretty much it for this particular unit and rune showcase. Again, I apologize. I just look at the top of the thing, going on 46 minutes. So it is longer than I expected it to be, but I would be silly to try to go through the units without talking about my thoughts and my theories based on what I do, so you guys can understand what I do, so that you can use that, you know, in your setups or whatnot to go ahead and, you know, improve your game, improve your progression. So that is pretty much it, guys. Any questions on the units, please feel free to hit me in the comment section down below. Again, the reason for the changes was to improve my Guild Wars offense as well as Guild Wars defense base units. We made some fun units in there to go ahead and have fun, mess around with. You'll see Leica there in a little bit. You'll see, I mean, we're still using Pumbek, we're still using Argent, Ashir's still getting used, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with some of these units here. Hopefully we can, you know, just keep on improving this stuff so that we can, you know, have a little bit more variety. But I don't have all the runes in the world, so I have to really minimize the amount of units that I bring to the table. Okay, so that is it, guys. Thank you all for tuning in for this episode of the Unit and Rune Showcase. It's your boy ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. I'm out.